Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the New Canaan High School Gymnasium, where tonight we're in for the first round of the CIAC State Tournament, and tonight the New Canaan Rams host the Guilford Grizzlies. Myself, John, going alongside Ryan. We'll be here to bring you the coverage tonight on NCTV, and thank you for joining us tonight as we try to stream as many games as possible. And Ryan, we're in for a good one tonight. New Canaan comes fresh off an St. Joseph Cadets. And on the other side, Guilford comes in with a 7-14 record. See what they can do in states. They're 7-14, so they just qualified for states. But they have an opportunity to make a run, and New Canaan's been the prime example of that, right? Came into the FCIAC tournament as a 7 seed and made it all the way to the championship. Ryan, talk to me about that run.
Yeah, so New Canaan was 14-7, 11-6 in that FCIAC place, a 7 seed, as you just mentioned, beating 2-seeded Stanford in that first round thanks to that guard play. Tia Kivico and Fiona Mueller were kind of the sparks that led to that big upset, and they weren't done. Then they beat 3-seeded Ridgefield, and that was another massive upset. Claire Ogdenbenny, especially inside the paint, which we're expecting a lot from her tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we get there, but Claire Ogdenbenny had a huge game against 3-seeded Ridgefield. They did end up losing to the 1-seeded St. Joe's Cadets in that final, but obviously valiant effort from that team in the FCIACs, and they're going to look to keep it up in states, John.
Yeah, and that was their first ever FCIAC title appearance, so got to give a shout out where it's due. They did put something pretty historic already this season. If they can walk away with the state title, it will just all shift. The momentum that they'll bring in, it'll be. How is Guilford going to stop New Canaan tonight, Ryan?
Yeah, they're going to have a tough time doing it. I think we're seeing right now is we'll get our camera over there a little later, but they do not have much height. So as I mentioned earlier, New Canaan, Claire Ogdenbenny, she's going to be a force down low in the paint. And I think for Guilford, a little underrated aspect of that New Canaan game is the perimeter shooting. Sometimes they're off, but when they're on, I think they can beat almost anyone, as we kind of talked about pregame, especially with Tia Kivico and Cece Patterson. Not really a shooter from outside, but she's a great driver, gets fouled a lot. So Guilford just has to maintain that defense and transition that into offense. Yeah, and Guilford's got to move that ball around. I think that'll be key tonight. In their point guard, Amelia Votto is number 5, as well as their 2 guard, Alicia Kittrell, I think, number 21, right? That guard play is going to be so important. You're going to have to spread out that defense. And if you get stuck, you're going to have to play in transition, right? When you don't have that side, you can't go down low and get a bucket whenever you want. So that's definitely going to be something to watch. It's just been dominant recently. It seems like everything they put up goes in, and they were able to do something in the FCIAC, which, as we mentioned, is one of the best conferences in Connecticut, if not the best. Yeah, I mean, the FCIACs, it's a total gauntlet. So for New Canaan to just make it as far as they did into that final was super impressive, beating Stanford, beating Ridgefield. And I think if you match up almost anyone in the state against St. Joe's, that's going to be a tough matchup to win. So New Canaan actually played them just about a week or two earlier. I was on the call with that. But, you know, St. Joe's is one of the best teams in the whole state, so New Canaan can't be too down on themselves for losing that game, but holding their heads high for beating Stanford and Ridgefield.
And you talk about it, high school injuries are pretty common in high school athletics, but tonight New Canaan's definitely got one in. Grace Driscoll, she's been sidelined for the past couple of games with that ankle injury, and she'll be out again tonight, but she's another perimeter guard that was dominant throughout the regular season, really spot-up shooter alongside the senior captains are Vico, always going to be there, always going to be present. But if you're Guilford, you got to get off.
Yeah, I agree, John. And I think going back to that guard play, Kibico and Fiona Mueller just have to play spot on tonight. Don't turn the ball over. We've kind of seen the last few games maybe a little sloppy. Not regarding the FCAC tournament. They played almost fantastic. But those last few regular season games, we saw some sloppy turnovers. So New Canaan has to be physical along with getting a lot of offensive.
This new season, almost new season to go run for that state championship. We'll be back to you in just a couple of short moments after the national anthem and the starting line.
First round state playoff game between the Guilford Grizzlies and the Canaan Rams. And now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for Guilford High School. Number 5, Amelia Vato. Number 21, Alicia Cottrell. Number 24, Sophie Creamer. Number 42, Alexa Gupta. And number 1 is Kira Reynolds. Head coach of the Grizzlies, Thatcher Zeus. And now let's meet tonight's starting lineup for the New Canaan Rams. Number 32, C.C. Patterson. Number 22, Katie Funk. Number 20, Fiona Muller. Number 24, Tia Kibico. And number 35 is Claire Agnevani. Rams head coach, Tim Palmer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise for the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back on NCTV 78. Tonight we have New Canaan hosting Guilford, the Guilford Grizzlies. Myself, John Frieders, joined alongside PJ Neville if you're just, join alongside Ryan Bell if you're just joining us. My apologies, Ryan.
You're good.
Tonight we have band, a nice little band over in that corner. Not sure if we can get a shot on the band, but we got Yanni Jordanopoulos joined alongside his friend. They're gonna kind of bless us with some music tonight, which I should be excited for.
Yeah.
But again, going back to the game, right? First round of states, both teams have an opportunity to kind of prove a point, right? New Canaan's going to try to stay hot, carry that momentum from their championship run in the FCAC, where they unfortunately lost to St. Joe's. And then on the other side, Guilford's coming in, trying to come out with a victory against a very good New Canaan team.
Yeah, for New Canaan, I'm excited to see, you know, how they're going to come out coming off of that FCAC final loss. This game at an 11 seed playing a 22 seed, you know, not something I'd always think I'd say with the March Madness traditional 116 and so on. So 11 versus 22, don't see that very often. But, you know, New Canaan, I want to see what they're going to do. Claire Ogdenbenny, I'm expecting a huge game out of her. Would not be surprised if she gets 20 points.
Ogdenbenny's going to take the tip off against Kukta, and we'll see who wins it. And as you mentioned, that starting momentum as Ogdenbenny wins the tip, but that starting momentum is going to really tell the tale of the game. Depending on who gets hot first, I think that momentum will carry through the rest of the game as Muir drives, gets it over to Kaviko, back up to Cece Patterson.
See how New Canaan will kind of work this motion offense to start the game.
Funk almost had the ball stolen. That was Kira Reynolds. That's Mueller going up and puts in the layup.
Beautiful scoop layup by Fiona Mueller. She does that a lot with that right hand, just kind of scooping it down.
And New Canaan's going to come out in that full court press, right? Apply pressure early on as they get the steal. That was Kaviko over to Patterson. New Canaan almost turns the ball over. Mueller up top. And that one's off.
Yeah, I want to see how New Canaan will kind of transition as Kiviko almost shot that one.
Kiviko decides to drive inside after the pump fake, and she puts it up and in. 4-0 Rams early on.
Quick start from New Canaan, back into this full court press. Got to see how Guilford's going to be able to break this one.
Quick to over to her teammate, back to Kramer.
Ooh, that out of here.
That one blocked, ball on the ground. That'll be a jump ball. Guilford's going to retain possession, right, because New Canaan won the tip-off.
Yep.
Good physicality, though, early on. That was Kramer. My apologies, that was actually Votto. Votto over to Kramer. Back to Votto. Votto inside, puts it up. That one can't fall. Rebounded by Ogdenbenny. Here is Mueller taking it up. Guarded by Reynolds. Down low to Ogdenbenny. Puts it up and in. That's a good way to start off your night. 1-for-1 for the center senior captain.
Great turn from Claire Ogdenbenny. She has the height advantage on every player on the floor for Guilford. She's able to score those.
And that ball stolen by Kaviko over to Mueller. Drawing contact up and can't get that one to fall. But great job by Mueller to go into the contact right instead of trying to avoid it.
Yeah, getting to the free throw line for New Canaan, you know, is always an important thing every game tonight. We'll see how kind of they'll do that. Obviously not yet because that was not a shooting foul. So kind of have to see how that's going to sustain.
Inside shot. That was a mid-range shot by Ogdenbenny. Can't get that one to fall, but turned over by Guilford. Back to Ogdenbenny. Puts it up and gets her own rebound almost, but rebounded by Votto.
A quick timeout.
That is a timeout by head coach Thatcher Zeus. Never
Great.
thought.
That's a great name.
Right? And he's going to call the timeout, settle things down, right? New Canaan's up 6-0 here early on. And what do you think he's telling his girls right now?
Yeah, try to calm down as best they can. That full court pressure is kind of eating them up alive right now because New Canaan can just steal the ball and they have will to do whatever they want. Ogdenbenny gets in the paint. She's trying to put up her own shot. She's almost getting rebounds over 3 other girls. So Claire Ogdenbenny just trying to put up as many shots as possible. But as for Guilford, is trying to get a good press break.
Yeah, and you got to come down with that first rebound, right? You can't let that ball kind of hang in the air, tip it up. Ogdenbenny's just going to grab every single one of those.
Yep.
Ball over to Reynolds. Reynolds working it up, just going to pull up from the mid-range strike. And she misses, rebounded by Patterson.
Ogdenbenny making a run. Good pass.
Mueller inside to Ogdenbenny, puts it up and in.
That's easy for New Canaan. Fiona Mueller, great dish to find the other senior Ogdenbenny.
Yeah, and that's that transition game you were talking about, right? Perfect pass on the money as Guilford throws it over, tries to get it down low. Stolen by New Canaan yet again. Numerous steals here. Mueller over to Ogdenbenny, crisp pass. Air balls, but rebounded by Mueller, puts it up and in, and a 10-0 start for the Rams.
Yeah, Ogdenbenny air balls, but Fiona Mueller right there, back for the offensive rebound, getting the layup, and a quick 10-0 start for the Rams.
Kramer with the ball, guarded by Patterson.
So New Canaan in a zone look right now.
Over to Votto, back to Kramer. Inside to Kukta. Reynolds gonna pull up from 3. Can't get it up and in. Blocked by Patterson. But rebounding, great rebounding there from the Grizzlies. Puts it up and in. That breaks the scoreless tie, makes it 10-2. 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
First points of the night for Guilford. We'll see how much that will kind of come about. It's a tough New Canaan defense, one of the toughest in all Connecticut.
An uncharacteristic turnover there by Muir, right? Stolen by Reynolds. Here is Kramer gonna move it up to her teammate. That was Votto who gets fouled. Gonna put her at the strike 4-2.
Smart foul draw there. You kind of see that a lot of NBA players kind of with that pump fake and then drawing contact with the shot. So good look there from Guilford.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna see Guilford just shoot whenever they get open space, right? They don't want to stay in that half court kind of offense, because that's not where you can get past the size, right? When you just kind of slow things down, a good team like New Canaan will take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And New Canaan, we saw Guilford just made some subs there, but New Canaan, they don't really sub that often, but tonight, if you know what we're expecting, New Canaan should win by a good amount. Maybe we'll see some of those bench players get a lot more minutes.
That second one she gets it to fall, and that's gonna make it 10-4. New Canaan up by 6. Here's Muir working up top. What about that? But she turns it over, trying to get it to Patterson. Good move inside, kind of knifing her way inside, but can't find her teammate there on the pass.
Yeah, she tried a little no-look pass to CC Patterson, but a little misconnection between the two.
Reynolds over to Kittrell. Gonna swing it to Reynolds. Reynolds with the shot. That one rebounded by Patterson.
Claire Ogdenbenny did scream before that shot went up, so a little intimidation. Ooh.
Muir over to Ogdenbenny. She just gets that pass. Completely pushes Kittrell out of the way, but that one was clean. And that's where you're gonna see that size advantage. Just they're gonna take over New Canaan when given the opportunity.
Yeah, perfect touch by Claire Ogdenbenny off the glass there.
Ball to Kukta, to Mesa. Over to Votto. Kicks it to Kittrell. She can't get that one to fall. The mid-range shot. No good. Muir with another rebound. Look at, just gonna go right up. Rebounded by Ogdenbenny. And that's gonna be pushed out of bounds by Guilford hand. New Canaan's gonna retain possession, and here's gonna be Fiona Muir on the inbound.
Yeah, you want Mueller to take maybe a little bit more time in those layups to ensure those points.
Muir over to Patterson. Back to, that was Katie Funk. I believe her foot was inside the line, but they're gonna count that as a 3. It's gonna make it 15-4 here, 3:30 remaining.
Yeah, Funk not a regular starter for New Canaan, but when she gets minutes, always a reliable person.
Ball back up top to Votto, tries to get inside to Kittrell. She does, but just swarmed by that New Canaan defense. That's gonna be a jump ball. New Canaan's gonna retain possession, or gain possession. And they get possession off the jump ball, and it's gonna be Muir inbounding. But what have you liked here early on, Ryan?
Yeah, I think for New Canaan, the physicality is an aspect that is maybe lacking in some games for New Canaan, but so far, again, playing a lot of players that are much smaller than them, but still getting rebounds, putting back offensive rebounds is key for New Canaan.
Yeah, and that's gonna be an illegal pick by Katie Funk there. She moved her hands a little bit, didn't set. And they're gonna call that every single time. That one was easy to see. Bad turnover by the Rams. But New Canaan's built that early lead, right? They're up 14-4. You know, fans kind of starting to stream in. It's a tough game time whenever it starts at 6:30 because people have practice. But now fans are moving in, and who would not want to come watch this game tonight?
Yeah.
Ball stolen by Muir. She's been a menace on the defensive side. Kicks it up to Patterson. Patterson gets blocked over to Muir. She hits the mid-range shot.
Fiona Mueller, butter from the mid-range, and there's Callie Patterson with her first action tonight. She just got subbed on earlier for her sister, Cece.
Reynolds over to Kittrell. It's gonna be doubled over to Votto. Back to Kittrell. Votto with a good backdoor cut. And kicks it to Cookto, puts in the mid-range shot, but what about that for a backdoor cut?
Yeah, good way to attack the zone there. Have someone kind of go middle, and you're always gonna have that baseline option open, and it's easy points.
Here's Muir working on Reynolds, and just looking at them, right, you see that size advantage. New Canaan gaining it, kicks it inside to Ogdenbenny, who gets fouled.
Yeah,
I believe that'll be on Kittrell.
Yeah, Claire Ogdenbenny, maybe the most fouled player on New Canaan, but I think what she's trying to work on more as the season's kind of going on is converting those free throws. As earlier in the season, there were a lot more misses from the charity stripe, but she's been, you know, slowly getting better throughout the year.
Yeah, and it seems like that's a common occurrence, right, in between both New Canaan programs kind of this year. New Canaan, the boys I know, not shooting well from the strike.
Yeah.
And that's where your money's made, right? They're giving you free points at the line, so you want to convert when you can. Yeah, Ogdenbenny converted there on the first one, and she'll put up the second one right now. And she misses, rebounded by Mesa over to Reynolds. Reynolds trying to work on Muir, but it's tough when you're got that height disadvantage.
Yep. Guilford really trying to attack that right side facing the New Canaan basket. That's a crazy shot.
Reynolds puts it up, and she gets that one to go. That was a little scoop layup from a couple feet out.
Kind of surprised me up here, almost. And see, turnover, New Canaan.
Yeah, turnover by New Canaan. That ball goes off the hands of Patterson, and the Grizzlies going to gain possession here. It's going to be Votto inbounding to Reynolds. She's going to carry it up, guarded by Muir. Got a new face in there, Maddie Welch. She's going to be in there as well.
Deep three.
Deep three there by Reynolds. Didn't get it to go, but rebounded by Miza. And then second chance rebound by Ogdebeni.
Buchanan now just trying to get more attack. Kivico with it up top. I kind of want to see maybe some more plays. And I think as this goes on, maybe more screens. Ogdebeni not so much in the screen game. Is just here fighting down low, trying to free up some room.
And Muir goes right down low to Ogdebeni, who puts it up and in. And that's the recipe to success right there. Just get the ball to Muir. Let Ogdebeni work down low and then feed it inside.
Yeah, Chef Ogdebeni's cooking up a whole lot of layups tonight, and it's just going to come as easy as they get with the size differential between the two teams.
Yeah, you look at that play, and that was a pretty effortless bucket as Reynolds going to take another three. Can't convert, but another rebound by the Grizzlies.
A lot of good cross kind of floor passes by Guilford. This is a foul on the floor.
Yeah, Welch goes inside. That's going to be a blocking foul on Tia Kavi. That's going to be a blocking foul on Fiona Muir. And Guilford going to gain possession, but they're down by 11, right? So you got to start scoring some baskets. But I think the problem hasn't necessarily been scoring, right? It's been on that defensive side in those turnovers, so you can't turn the ball over, especially against this team.
Yeah.
As the three's hit by Welch.
Yeah, the best way to kind of break a zone is you got to shoot your way out of a zone, and that's the thing with the 2-3 zone. You're going to give up a lot of those perimeter shots, especially once you kind of see an attack. So the Grizzlies are going to have to face that.
Kavico down low to Ogdebeni. And that's going to be a foul on Kukta, the senior captain, faced with a tough task of guarding Ogdebeni tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think almost anyone, especially a lot in the FCAC, and now as we head to states, everyone kind of has a trouble guarding Claire Ogdebeni. And it's interesting, off of the screens, they don't really pass it to her immediately. They try and find her with Callie Patterson scoring right there.
Yeah, Callie Patterson puts that one up and in. Guilford gonna run it right now. Reynolds over to Votto. Shot another three in the corner, this time by Meza, and she misses. And that will conclude the first quarter. New Canaan up by 10, 21-11, and talk to me about that first quarter, Ryan.
Yeah, again, I talked about physicality earlier, but what I like from New Canaan is working it inside to Claire Ogdebeni. She's going to be the leading scorer on the night when they're not taking too many perimeter shots. And, you know, I think we kind of keep going back to it. It's that size difference between the two teams. But Claire Ogdebeni has been absolutely feasting on the glass, getting both defensive and offensive rebounds and kind of transitioning those into points.
Yeah, and let's talk about those turnovers as well. That New Canaan defense forced numerous turnovers in that first quarter, and then they were able to convert, right? So they didn't just get the turnovers, they scored points, which is a big kind of margin in basketball, right? Scoring points off the turnovers, and they did just that there. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, New Canaan runs a full court press. That's almost pretty effortless for them. They practice it almost every day. And I think that's kind of the staple of this girls team, you know, from Coach Kim Palmer, running that full court press. They don't really trap, which is maybe something I want to see a little more, maybe put someone on the inbounder, but it's a very effective trap, and especially against a team like Guilford, who's maybe a little more inexperienced against it, it works perfectly.
Yeah, and when you got that length and that height out on the court, right, that also helps you in the full court press, being able to kind of reach and get to those balls that you normally probably wouldn't be able to. And New Canaan has a sizable margin right now, up by 10. 8 minutes, the start of the second quarter, just about to get underway, and it does. Inbound to Meza, over to Welch. Reynolds gonna work it, kick it across. Almost left Votto in the corner, but you can tell Guilford just looking for those three-pointers. That's a great pass by Muir to Patterson. Puts it up and gets fouled.
Yeah, Cece Patterson might be one of the more aggressive players on this New Canaan team. She will be a future D1 athlete at Notre Dame playing lacrosse. So, you know, for Cece Patterson, being able to just be more of an aggressive player gets to the free throw line a lot.
Yeah, Patterson, a two-sport athlete, as you just mentioned. She's at the strike, and she misses the first one. Didn't get enough on that one, but let's take a look at this kind of play in transition. Ball from Muir to Patterson, puts it up and gets fouled. So this is why she's at the line. Missed the first one, gonna have the second one here, and maybe she can convert. And she doesn't. That one goes off. 0 for 2 at the strike. And we talked about the Rams need to shoot well at the free throw throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that will be something that as they progress into further rounds against better teams, you obviously got to start shooting better, but maybe against a team like Guilford, you can have an off night and still win.
Ball inbound to Kukta, and she misses the layup. Rebound by the Rams. Here's Kaviko working on Meza. Ball inside to Agdabeni, and you could tell they're going to just tighten up. They're going to double her whenever that ball gets down into the post.
Yeah, she's always constantly calling for it, and I think that's what all the guards on this New Canaan team are, just trying to find her as best as they can.
Kaviko over to Funk. Down low to Agdabeni. Works her way inside, can't finish, but rebound. Thought it was going to be rebounded by Kaviko, but instead rebounded by a Grizzly. And here's Reynolds working it up on Patterson. That's going to be a reach-in foul on Patterson.
Well, a little too aggressive there on the defense.
Rams up 21-11, 6:46 remaining in this second quarter. Behind the basket, inbound over to Reynolds with the three. Can't find anything there.
A little too much spin from that corner.
Muir is going to work it up. The senior captain doing everything tonight, except she did turn it over there, trying to get it down low to Agdabeni.
Yeah, Claire Agdabeni kind of, we saw blaming herself a little bit, apologizing as, you know, maybe Mueller calm it down a little bit. She tried a little too much flashiness on that pass, but.
Yeah, and you kind of got to tighten things up right now if you're the Rams, right? If you're Coach Palmer, you're not necessarily super excited with what you've seen so far. A couple turnovers that you just can't have, that Guilford hasn't been able to capitalize off of. But here's the ball to Votto, goes inside. Can't finish through the contact.
Willis had that tough layup to fall. I mean, maybe some contact, but the refs are letting it slide so far.
Kaviko over to Muir with the shot. Butter three-pointer there. That one goes right in, right through the net. 24-11. New Canaan on top.
Yeah, Fiona Mueller wide open, and that's kind of her sweet spot over there around that wing corner area. She's always going to knock that one down.
All over to Reynolds. Thought about shooting it, but instead kicks it inside. Now she's going to get the ball back, drive inside, gets her own rebound, but that one's blocked by the New Canaan defense.
Yeah, sweet defense by New Canaan, and then kind of playing into Tia Kiviko's hand, being a point guard. Sweet handles from Kiviko.
Kiviko over to Patterson. Up top to Funk. Then over to Agdabeni, who's going to shoot.
Rare three-pointer from Claire Agdabeni. You know, do not see that very often from one of the seniors.
Yeah, and she hits that one. Three-pointer by Agdabeni.
And I think we got some substitutions, mainly for Guilford. New Canaan might be making a few as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple substitutions on both sides.
New Canaan kind of now more of a high pressure, now dropping back, but you still have Fiona Mueller up top. Good steal. We're going to have a foul called on the floor.
It's
not working. Tell them something's wrong.
Some substitutions
The mics.
for New Canaan. Now we'll kind of see how Guilford will break this 2-3 zone look from New Canaan here. There's a good steal by Lauren Livesay. And driving in, Livesay, that's off the mark and rebounded by the Grizzlies. And now more transition from Guilford.
Yeah, here's Guilford moving in transition. This is Reynolds over to Votto. Votto to the corner, shot by Meza. That one goes off.
Another three-pointer.
That one's butter. This time Reynolds hitting from the corner. That's a three-pointer for the junior.
See also for New Canaan, number 10, Sarah Marshall, and the junior.
Fiona Muir over to Livesey. Back to Marshall. Back to Livesey with the mid-range shot, and she gets fouled. She's going to be put at the line for 2.
Yeah, 2 shots for Livesey. And we'll see New Canaan again trying to get that disparity kind of at the free throw line. Definitely want to get there as much as possible to get those 3 points.
Livesey going to be at the line for 2. Rams up 27-14 right now. This is the first one of 2, and she misses. 4:10 remaining in the second quarter. Rams able to build a sizable margin right now, up by 13, right?
The second free throw is good.
All inside to Kittrell. That one by Reynolds. She's going to hit the mid-range floater, and she converts.
Now New Canaan really quick right back at it. A little too much heat for Callie Patterson.
Guilford forces the turnover. Here's Meza over to Votto. Up top to Kittrell, down low, blocked by Patterson.
Great quick hands from the Rams defense.
Votto goes down low, gets the and one opportunity, puts that one up and in. And she's going to have a chance for 3 points at the line.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of weird because it feels like New Canaan has been dominant this whole game. They could easily be up by 20 points, but it's 28-18. You know, barring this free throw, it could be a single-digit game.
Yeah, the Grizzlies kind of just hanging around right now, clawing back.
I like
trying
that.
to cut the margin, right?
Grizzlies clawing back. Good one.
As we almost had the replay there, but couldn't get off in time. And here's Muir working on Reynolds. Muir over to Ogdebeni. Keep on feeding her right. She's had a stellar game so far. And we'll look to continue that dominance down low. Here is Reynolds on the transition game. Loses the ball, carries that one, and can't get that one to fall.
Shout out to our cameraman, Maddie over there, saving the ball. So we'll take a look at the previous action from Guilford. And I think what I've been seeing from them a lot is just attacking into that zone, really just trying to get into the middle, force kind of these New Canaan girls to get in a lot of foul trouble.
Yeah, and that's how you attack a zone, right? You kind of pressure that down low, try to get the ball down low, and then kick it out if you can, as they try to get the ball down low to Ogdebeni, but that was stolen by Kittrell. That'll be a jump ball going to New Canaan.
2:45 to go in the second quarter. New Canaan, you want to end this one on a run going into halftime with more of a positive note.
Here's Kaviko over to Mueller. Senior captain to senior captain over to Patterson. Back to Livesey to Kaviko, who thought about firing. We haven't seen her take a three-pointer tonight, right? You mentioned how good of a shooter she's been all season. Maybe look to get her involved as well. Down low to Ogdebeni, guarded by Kittrell. And she gets that one to fall. The little shimmy there down low in the post. Puts it up and in.
Yeah, Claire Ogdebeni is just so good with her feet. Keeps that pivot foot down, a little half spin over. Banks it in off the glass, easy layup.
Ball down low to Cookta. She's going to get fouled, not able to convert the and one. And she doesn't, but she'll get a shot at the line. And we're going to see a substitution here. We're going to see Ali Cecilia check into the game, the freshman. As we take a look at that replay of the play that put Cookta at the line, she got fouled on the back cut. Let's see again, going inside, kind of creating your own opportunities. Goes inside and gets fouled. She hits the second one, goes 1 for 2 at the line, cuts that lead to 10. Here's Kaviko working up top. Picked up her dribble, maybe a little bit too early up top,
Yeah.
so she couldn't move around.
Oh, bad pass there. So now they're just trying to force it a little too much into Claire Ogdebeni. You got to try and keep working it outside as much as possible before you get that good look.
Yeah, you got to kind of mix it up, right? You can't go down to Ogdebeni every single time. Even if it's working, you want to get some of those perimeter shooters involved, even some mid-range shots, right?
Yep.
Get things working. Ball almost turned over. Here's Reynolds over to Kittrell.
Good steal.
Tries to feed it to Votto, but read like a book by Kaviko. Kaviko over to Sasia, down low, puts it up.
Good offensive rebound.
Offensive rebound by Ogdebeni, puts it up and in and gets fouled. The and one from Ogdebeni there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many points she has. Maybe we can try and check in with Bill Brown over there because, I mean, she has the, by far, majority of these points for the Rams, just feasting those layups.
Yeah, she's having a stellar game so far, and we mentioned her right in our pregame show, our little pregame talk, about how she would have to be dominant as she gets the free throw to fall. But then here again on the glass, picking up the board after the missed shot from Sasia, puts it up and in. And we've seen that all season from Ogdebeni.
Yeah, I think for New Canaan, especially when you have younger talent like Ali Sasia, only a freshman, there's going to be some missed shots, and that's where Ogdebeni can do her best to just try and get as many steals and offensive rebounds, layups as possible.
Here are the Grizzlies working it around, stolen by Kaviko. Stops a little bit, puts it up and in. Great transition game from the Rams. That makes it a 35-20 game.
Yeah, it's been quick hands by Tia Kiviko. She's got a few steals in the past couple minutes, and then she's able to just drive, get an easy layup.
Yeah, you see this Rams defense in the past couple plays, reading this Grizzlies offense like a book, right? Those cross-court passes are not working anymore, and they're just able to kind of pick them off almost like an interception in football.
Yeah, I think that's the one problem that Guilford's been having tonight is kind of breaking that pressure. We saw it maybe in that first quarter behind half court, and now as they kind of attack more towards that New Canaan area, we've seen a lot more steals and turnovers being forced by New Canaan because of Guilford, just sloppy passes.
Reynolds at the line. She hits the first one. That makes it a 14-point game. Rams up 35-21. As we're going to get a little bit of a replay of the free throw. And she hits the second one. So goes 2 for 2 at the line. And that's a good start if you're Reynolds, right? If you're the Grizzlies, you got to keep hitting those free throws, and you got to get inside the paint and pressure this Rams offense.
Yeah, number 12, Eliza Lorenz in the game, another freshman. So 2 freshmen on the floor for New Canaan right now.
Grizzlies get the rebound after the missed shot by the Rams. Reynolds over to Votto, back to Reynolds. Thought about shooting, guarded by the freshman. Here is Kramer working it inside. That one's off, but rebounded by Kittrell, who's fouled by Ogdebeni.
Yeah, New Canaan unable to grab the rebound off of that defensive glass. And Guilford, they keep getting fouled heading over to the free throw line. It's 5 team fouls on New Canaan, so getting close to the bonus.
Yeah, that puts you in the double bonus now. That was a new rule change alongside that shot clock, right? The 35-second shot clock. You also have the 5 fouls, and then you get 2 free throws as we take a look at the foul on Ogdebeni on Kittrell. She's at the line, and she misses the second one. That one rebounded by Ogdebeni. And it's going to be Kiviko up top over to Patterson. Patterson to Sasia.
More pressure.
Sasia back to Kiviko.
Trying to pressure up top is the Grizzlies. Maybe trying to cut down some of those passing lanes, especially to Ogdebeni.
And you see Kittrell just being physical with Ogdebeni. The Grizzlies going to run it in transition. Pass from Reynolds, but that was stolen by the Rams, but couldn't stay in bounds. So they're going to get, that's going to be a behind the basket inbound for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, 0.4 seconds. You just got to get something quick, preferably a layup.
Kittrell with the shot. She had an open look, a mid-range shot, couldn't convert, and that'll do it for the first half. We're going to have 9 minutes in between the first half and the second half, and we'll be back in just a couple short minutes to talk about that first half and go over what each team needs to do in the second half for the Grizzlies to get back into the game, and then for the Rams to maintain this lead and come away with the victory at home.
This game is sponsored by our NC Rams All Sports Booster Club Platinum and Gold sponsors. We would like to thank our Platinum sponsor, Anderson Kenny Architecture, a full-service practice that encompasses a range of commission, residential, and commercial projects. Each project is a thoughtful collaboration tailored for clients and their needs. The outcome is highly personal, constructed with intention and integrity. We would like to thank our Platinum sponsor, Dr. William Fessler of Fessler Family Dentistry, the dental office for your entire family's dental needs. At William Fessler Family Dentistry, smile, you're in good hands. Platinum sponsor, Frangione Engineering. Planning on putting a pool or addition onto your house? Are you having drainage issues on your property? Frangione Engineering can help you find a solution. Platinum sponsors and NCHS alumni, Leo and Steve Carl of Carl Chevrolet, have been proud supporters of local athletic programs for generations. Their dealership has been serving Fairfield County since 1927. Their team is ready to assist you with all of your automotive needs. Platinum sponsor, Manfredi Jewels. Manfredi Jewels, your local official Rolex jeweler, is excited to continue carrying the finest jewelry and watch brands, and welcome the New Canaan community to their newly renovated store this fall. Go Rams. Platinum sponsor, Renaissance Partners, a family-owned and New Canaan-based residential building and remodeling company, serving all of Fairfield County. Platinum sponsor, Walter Stewart's. Walter Stewart's Market has supported NC Rams athletics and your entire New Canaan community for years. Walter Stewart's is your fresh local market. We'd also like to thank our gold sponsor, Performance Optimal Health, who proudly supports all New Canaan Rams athletes in their 2023-2024 seasons. Their team helps clients achieve their health goals through exercise, recovery, nutrition, and stress management. They offer their congratulations to all teams competing this season. Again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors. The NC Rams All Sports Booster Club supports all New Canaan High School athletics. Go Rams.
Support the NCHS Scholarship Foundation. Purchase a golf ball. Someone will win a brand new 2024 Chevy Colorado. The NC Color Drop will take place March 24th at Waveney. Check out the truck today, located at the entrance of Denny Stadium. Already have a truck? There are 11 other great prizes too, including a $2,000 gift card to Walter Stewart's Market. All proceeds will go directly to NCHS graduates who rely on financial aid to help pay their college tuition expenses.
If you want to stay updated on all our Rams sports, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NCTV78. And in order to watch our bi-weekly broadcasts, live streams of the NCHS sports, and our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also at NCTV78. Thank you, and let's go Rams!
Hi, Caroline.
Welcome back inside the Welcome back inside the New Canaan High School Gymnasium. Myself, John Friedrich, joined alongside my partner Ryan Bell, and we're in for a treat tonight. The New Canaan Rams up 35-22 right now, in between the first and the second half. And Ryan, what's been working for the New Canaan Rams tonight?
Yeah, starting with New Canaan, it's been the work of Claire Ogdenbenny. You know, I asked Bill Brown a little earlier how many points she has. 17 first half points. So 17 of the 35 are from Claire Ogdenbenny. She's been a beast down low on the glass. And in a game where there's been not too much perimeter shooting from the likes of Fiona Mueller and Tia Kivico, Ogdenbenny's been really stepping it up.
Yeah, you talk about it. Ogdenbenny's just been dominant. And on the other side, what do the Grizzlies need to do to stop her?
Yeah, Guilford they really have to try their best. Double teams, maybe even triple teams, because New Canaan, if they're not shooting that well and they're not shooting that much, there's definitely an opportunity to grab as many defensive rebounds and trying to transition. Actually, I think we're going to roll into some first half highlights. So we see Guilford, kind of those deep shots. A lot of misses maybe early on, but they were able to get their rebounds. This is when New Canaan was up 10-0 with Guilford. Again, their first basket on the night, and then Fiona Mueller with that quick pass over to Ogdenbenny, the miss, but Fiona Mueller good on the offensive glass, getting that layup back up. And then Guilford doing a good job trying to break that full court pressure, getting fouled. So a lot of fouls are actually called in that first half. New Canaan want to try and bring that down as much as possible. As again, Fiona Mueller, the great pass, a lot of contact down low, but Ogdenbenny with perfect touch off the glass to get that layup. Then again, Guilford running it in transition. You know, trying to get that baseline drive and great cross-court swing. And that's something for the Grizzlies. It's definitely been a positive, getting all of those cross-court passes. That was a crazy shot. This one was 17-6. Made that 17-8. As Kivico found Ogdenbenny there, got fouled, which is another thing that New Canaan kind of try and feed on, is just giving it to Claire Ogdenbenny, drawing a lot of fouls. And that's kind of been the story. As we see this one last highlight. The good drive by Guilford, getting the and one.
Yeah, that was Votto who went inside, and then this time it's Kramer going inside, rebounded by Kittrell. And we're back for the action. 35-22, New Canaan on top, but the Grizzlies get the ball. Ball's gonna be fed into the middle, over to Kramer, to Reynolds. Reynolds cross-court pass to Votto, back up top to Kramer, gonna reset things. Down low to Critchell.
Trying to break that 2-3 zone is Guilford.
Yeah, and usually you kind of see that them working through that middleman, right? That person who kind of stands at the free throw line and moves the ball around. They haven't been able to get anything so far. Rebounded by the Rams there on the miss. Here's going to be Mueller who's going to move it up the court. And what a pleasure the Rams have gotten to kind of experience having two good point guards the past 2 years, right? You had Natalie Plosker last year. And then this year you have Fiona Mueller, who's having her breakout senior season this year. That was the shot. That one by Reynolds, who's gotten her touches early on, right? She gets fouled there. I believe that was on Patterson. That's going to be a shooting foul. That's going to put Reynolds at the line for two.
Yeah, just trying to get some more turnovers is Guilford. And they've been able to force a few of them and then trying to get to the free throw line as best as they can.
My apologies. That was actually a foul on Katie Funk, not Patterson. Second shot by Reynolds, no good. That one's gonna go off of Funk's hand. That was Kitchell going for the rebound, and You can tell a little bit of frustration on the Rams bench, right? You're up by 12 against a team who the coaches probably think you should beat by 20, 25 points, right?
Yep.
Ball
steal.
stolen, that one by Kiviko. Steals it, gonna put it up and miss the layup.
Yeah, I like the transition from Kiviko. She's gonna get it right back. Finds Ognabeni. So again, getting those steals, even if you miss the layups, just getting your offensive rebound, staying tough.
Ball over to Funk, and this is where you settle things down, right? You don't rush your offensive possessions. And that's gonna be a timeout by Coach Kim Palmer and Coach Silvestri. You mentioned things need to just kind of settle down in this second half, right? The Rams haven't been playing the best half of the season. Yeah, and Ryan, what are you kind of thinking, you know, going into this timeout, right? New Canaan calls the timeout to settle things down. What do you think the coaches are telling their girls?
Yeah, you know, start of the second half, you want to try and get back into the flow as best you can without kind of messing up what you had in the first half. And I think for New Canaan, it's again trying to work it inside to Claire Ognabeni, but don't make it too obvious. Don't do it on every possession. Try and drop some more perimeter plays, and then right when the opportunity strikes, you can get it down low to Ognabeni.
Yeah, and New Canaan's shown all season that they have those perimeter shooters, right? So although you want to feed it inside to what's working in Ognabeni, who has 17 points tonight, right? You also want to be able to kind of spread that ball around, and you can't go far in the state playoffs if you can't shoot the ball, just like any basketball team. We're going to resume to an inbound play. Quick inbound to Ognabeni, who misses almost everything there on the shot. An uncharacteristic miss. It's going to be a jump ball. New Canaan's going to retain possession.
Yeah, these inbound plays for New Canaan, they run a lot of variations, and we'll see if we'll get a down screen for Fiona Mueller. She does get one.
Ball over to Muir, drives inside, puts up the layup, missed, but rebound by Ognabeni, then rebounded by Patterson, who's going to get the foul call, so she's going to get 2 shots at the line. But you've got to be a little bit concerned, right? You've missed a couple layups that you don't want to miss. You can't miss layups as well. Good shooting right behind the arc, and with the layups, you got to make the layups consistently. The Rams haven't done a good job of that tonight, as Patterson's going to be at the strike for the first one. And she misses that one. Here's a replay of the play that got her to the line. Saw the play go up to Funk, then to Muir, who drives down low. Rebound by Ognabeni, and then after that was the rebound by Patterson, who got the foul call, and she misses the second one, and that's a free throw violation. Doesn't hit the rim or the net. So that's going to be the Grizzlies' ball no matter what.
Yeah, Guilford, 12-point game right now, 35-23. Surprisingly in it, I think surprising most of us, but they're putting up great fight right now, and this is definitely an obtainable game.
Reynolds over to Kramer. Up top to Reynolds. Gonna feed it inside, find Kitchell down low, but she can't hit. A little bit of contact. Maybe after the whistle there, Kiviko goes down. They don't call anything. Rams up 35-23. 6:09 remaining in this third period.
Yeah, New Canaan, a lot of fouls in that first half actually got Guilford into the bonus, so it's something that they're gonna want to control, and I'm sure all the coaches, Coach Palmer, Coach Silvestri, and Coach Rowich is trying to get New Canaan as best as they can to keep those hands wide, keep them open, and just try and, when the opportunity arises, grab steals.
Yeah, and we haven't seen much of that New Canaan transition offense, right, in this second half, and I think that's when they're playing at their best, as Patterson's going to drive inside. That'll be a foul on Votto, but going back to, right, the transition game, New Canaan dominates when their transition game is going well. They're getting steals, moving the ball up, just as any team does, and they stay composed. But they haven't had much of that in the second half. As the ball goes down low to Ognabeni, she loses it, picked up by Patterson over to Cecilia. Shot. And here's the Grizzlies gonna just slow things down. Smart decision by Reynolds. She would have been swarmed by 2 New Canaan defenders.
Yeah, Guilford now working in their 2-3 zone kind of break offense. So you got someone in the middle, someone running baseline. That's the recipe to beat it. Maybe more of a generic or base kind of way to beat it, but it works most of the time. So it's just a matter of finding those open passes.
Meza to Votto. And that's going to be a reach and foul. This one on Mueller. That's her third on the night, the second of the quarter. And as we mentioned, once you get to 5 fouls, you get 2 shots at the line, you're in the bonus. And the Grizzlies already have 3 fouls. New Canaan has 2. So you're approaching that mark not even halfway through this third quarter.
Yeah, there's a good turnover forced by New Canaan. Fiona Mueller with it.
And you can't be happy with that one, right? Mueller gets fouled there, as we'll probably show the replay, but you just got to get to the cup, right? You got to go up for the layup, get called for the contact, instead of kind of stopping and then taking that mid-range shot.
Yeah, exactly, but getting to the free throw line for New Canaan is kind of crucial. They've missed a few tonight. There's another one from Fiona Mueller, but again, just trying their best, getting to the free throw line, converting from the charity stripe is huge.
Yeah, we mentioned, right, the charity strike is 3 points whenever you get them. And the Rams have not done a good job of capitalizing off the free throw line tonight.
Good offensive rebound.
Rebound by Ogdebeni. Although you went 0 for 2 at the line, you get the rebound there, put it up and in, and you still get 2 points on that possession. Reynolds over to Welch. Back to Votto, who's going to drive inside. They're going to call it travel.
Yeah, just
on Votto.
One too many steps from Guilford, but that's the good help defense by New Canaan and kind of denying that drive inside.
Here is Kivico up top. You see Guilford in that 2-3 zone, forcing New Canaan to shoot the ball, right? SSC is in the corner. Gotta get it out of the corner too. The corner is the danger zone. Kivico thought about shooting it. Get it back to Kivico. Just tell she's waiting for a shot inside to Ogdebeni, puts it up and in. And I believe that's 21 on the night for the senior captain.
Yeah, I touched on that in the open. I would not be surprised if Ogdebeni scores 20, already at 21 right now. At this pace, she might be able to get 30.
Ogdebeni playing good defense down low, gets the stop on Kukta. And Mueller with the rebound over to Kivico. Kivico to Mueller.
A lot of room for Kivico, not deciding to take the three-pointer.
Back to up top to Kivico, and you got to shoot that, right? If you're a good shooter, you have confidence, and you just got to put it up, but she takes the layup. My fault. Maybe you don't need the three-pointer. It goes to the cup, puts it up and in. Look at the determination to get down low.
Great drive by Tia Kivico. Even when she's not shooting the ball that much, she'll still, have a big effect scoring points in the paint.
Votto down low, gets called for the travel. That's her second in a row. Back-to-back possessions with the travel for Votto. Kukta's going to come out for Kittrell. Here is Kivico carrying it up. But again, you mentioned part of what Guilford's trying to do right now is force New Canaan to shoot the ball as Patterson shoots. That one's off. They're going to call it behind the back. This one on Muir.
Yeah, rare three from CeCe Patterson. Does not shoot that often. She often tries to bank it in, as we just saw.
Yeah, and that's Mueller's 4th foul, right? So although the game might not seem close right now, it's an 18-point game. If the game were to get close, you got to look out for Mueller, who would be in foul trouble with 4 fouls. Here is Welch up top, guarded by Lorenz, this freshman. Kittrell gets it to Reynolds, but then Coach Zeus calls the timeout, settle things down for the Grizzlies, right? And Ryan, what are you telling your team if you're Coach Zeus right now in the huddle?
Yeah, Guilford just has to keep putting on pressure on the Rams, trying to deny that inside look to Claire Ogdebeni, which they've been doing successfully, or I could say at least almost successfully all night. And for Guilford on offensively, just keep trying to put up open shots as we head to the monitor, looking at that CeCe Patterson too strong on that three-pointer and the foul on Mueller. But for Guilford, it's just a matter of putting up proper shots, getting fouled at the line, getting free throws.
Yeah, and on the other side, if you're New Canaan, Coach Palmer, what are you telling your team right now? Up by 18 points with 3:24 remaining in this third quarter.
Yeah, well, you absolutely cannot take your foot off the gas. You got to keep trying as hard as you possibly can. And I think for at least New Canaan, trying not to give up as big as possible when you're up by 18 might take your foot off the pedal a little bit, but especially with Fiona Mueller off, but we'll see how they'll be able to do.
And they just called a foul, a reaching foul on CC Patterson, as you mentioned, the Notre Dame lacrosse commit. That's their sport, her specialty, but she's a two-sport athlete here on the basketball court. Two-sport varsity athlete, which is always impressive for anyone. Ball up top. That's Mesa over to Reynolds. Reynolds gonna drive inside, puts it up. Another one of those interesting layup forms. Puts it up, that one can't find any iron.
Yeah, especially with the left hand for, looks to be a righty. That's a very tough shot to convert on.
Cecilia up to Lorenz. Back to Kivico, but if you're Kivico, right, you gotta think you're gonna shoot the ball eventually, unless you're just gonna try to keep getting the ball inside. As Cecilia takes the shot, and she can't hit. Passing transition, no one gets a hand. Kittrell at the charity strike right now, not for shots. Shot by Guilford. That one by Mesa, and that one goes off.
Yeah, Guilford trying to get as many three-point looks as they can, but now you got to get back in transition, not leave any Rams open.
Good backdoor pass to Lorenz. They're gonna call a foul. I believe that one's on Votto, but you see kind of Kittrell slide up to the free throw line, right, to guard Ogdebeni, and then you leave that backdoor cut for Lorenz to go down low. And she does just that and gets fouled, but good play design by Coach Palmer.
Yeah, exactly, and especially for Lorenz making that cut and having Cecilia kind of find the freshman connection there. And it's just really good from New Canaan. That first free throw was off the mark, but again, those backdoor cuts have been really successful all night for the Rams.
And we'll take a look back, right? That speed just to come down from basically that corner on the right side down, cut directly straight down, and then get fouled. But she goes 0 for 2 at the line, and the free throw struggles continue for the Rams tonight.
Yeah, we'll see how Guilford, transition three.
Reynolds shoots, and she puts it in. What about that for an arched shot? That one, nothing but net. Not going to criticize it when it goes in, but that one went pretty sky high.
Yeah, insane amount of spin there. That was crazy.
Here is Patterson in the corner. This time, Callie Patterson, the sister of CC Patterson, in the corner. Callie going to inbound it to Kivico. As we get a replay of the three-pointer on the monitor. Nothing but net. Shot by Reynolds. Ogdebeni going to get tied up with two Grizzly defenders down low. And they're going to call a jump ball.
Yeah, again, that physicality. Don't mind that obscene comment that was said by Henry Lapin. But again, New Canaan, a lot of physicality, and almost a steal by Tia Kivico.
Kivico just working up top, and New Canaan with a 2-3 zone of their own. Blocked by Cecilia. Get that out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see a little Dikembe Mutombo no finger kind of wave there, but that's something that New Canaan's been so good at, shot blocking this entire year, led by Claire Ogdebeni, but they can just do it so much and they're so effective at it.
They've done a great job at kind of stealing those passes tonight, right, and turning them into transition points. Much better job in the first than the second half, but, they're still playing a solid game in the second half, find themselves up 41-26 as the third quarter winds down, just a little bit over a minute, but you saw the missed shot by the Grizzlies there. Here's Cecilia over to Patterson, and you have to call a travel there. Both feet got picked up in her kind of excitement to try to do something with the ball. Picked up both feet. That'll be a travel turnover by the Rams.
Yeah, in this game up by 15, you kind of want to show out for the fans, make some cool plays, but got to remember the rules. Cannot be leaving those feet as much as you are.
That one goes off of Missa's hand. She gains possession, though, kicks it over to Votto, who gets fouled. That's a foul, this time on Ogdebeni.
Looks like the bonus for Guilford, they'll be shooting two.
Both teams in the bonus right now. Both teams have 5 fouls. And you mentioned they do reset at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but you're already at 5 fouls, so any foul results in 2 free throws. But both teams not superb at the line tonight from the strike, as that first one was missed by Votto. Votto with the second one puts it in. Goes 1 for 2 at the line, but free throw struggles continue for both teams.
Yeah, I think, especially for New Canaan, as right now with this big lead, and you got to imagine they'll probably finish this one out with the win, but you got to hit your free throws as the playoffs move on.
Kivico over to Patterson, back to Kivico. He's going to go inside. That one off a hand, I believe that one was blocked. LaFrance over to Patterson, over to Ogdebeni, puts it up. Can't get it, but rebounded by Cecilia, who turns it over to Reynolds. You're gonna get Kramer on transition, puts up the layup. Easy layup for Kramer.
Yeah, we're back to a 12-point game right here. So we gotta see what will happen. New Canaan will probably want to take the final shot and not
bad
turn it
turnover
over.
by LaFrance over to Reynolds, who puts up the layup. That makes it a 10-point game. And
Yeah,
they're gonna press.
A little too uncomfortable for New Canaan, especially with all these freshmen in.
And another turnover, this time by the Rams. Then a turnover by the Grizzlies to Kivico. But if you're Palmer, you have to be frustrated. That was almost an 18-point lead there. All the way dwindled down to 10 points in between the third and fourth quarter. But we're in for an exciting one. Guilford has an opportunity to get back into this game right now, and their season relies on it, right? You mentioned it's a one-loss kind of bracket in this, both the FCIAC and the state playoffs. So whoever loses tonight, their season is over, and then the other team goes on to play Masick at Masick.
Yeah, not a great end to that third quarter for New Canaan. A lot of sloppy turnovers, so you got to imagine maybe we'll see some substitutions, get those starters back in.
Yeah, and whenever I was playing basketball, coaches told me, right, you can live with missed shots, right? If you miss an open shot, that's okay, but turning the ball over, stupid turnovers too, especially just careless turnovers, not stupid turnovers, but careless turnovers. We're just kind of throwing the ball around to throw passes, right? That's when coaches get frustrated, and we saw a little bit of that at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, and I think for New Canaan, limit those turnovers, but you still want to score on offense. As Fiona Mueller into the game, even though she does have 4 fouls, we'll see how much Ogdebeni will work it inside.
Yeah, and I think Mueller has been kind of the key to kind of maintaining this Rams offense, right? Settling things down and just being controlled, right, on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball as she feeds it inside to Ogdebeni. But even that was the best opportunity they've had in a couple of minutes of play.
Yeah, Guilford, almost turn around there.
Shot by Kramer, rebounded by Patterson. Over to Kivico.
Tia Kivico for Mueller. Great pass down low, Claire Ogdebeni.
Yeah, and again, that ball movement, right, getting it down to Ogdebeni. She could be closing that 30-point mark. I believe she's at 23 right now as we're watching. Another shot by Reynolds, that one just a little bit short. Kitchell tries to get the rebound, rebounded by Kivico, who gets it to Mueller.
Great physicality by Tia Kivico to kind of grab that rebound and give it to Mueller.
Mueller over to Patterson, who goes inside, puts it up and in, and it almost seems like Mueller's got the dimer badge. You know, just every ball she touches, right, moves it over, puts it up and in.
Yeah.
That time Patterson, as Mueller steals it again, and she trips.
Say everyone's all right.
That one's a dangerous play, though, right? Because you never know what happens when you slip and fall. You could have hurt the knee, hurt the ankle, and this is not the time for injuries, especially in the state playoffs.
Yeah, you mentioned that, though, John. Fiona Mueller definitely has those Hall of Fame passing badges. I mean, she can swing it almost anywhere in the court and deliver a perfect pass that, you know, a lot of we see from the boys' team with Griffin Bramwood. He is probably one of the best passers on that New Canaan team. And again, with Fiona Mueller, she does it for the girls.
Mueller goes inside, knifes her way inside and puts it up and in. Again, Mueller converting for her team. Rams up 47-31 right now, and Rams on a 6-0 scoring run at the beginning of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it got close, being a 10-point game and almost to single digits, but New Canaan kind of trying to run away with what they want to kind of finish out with a strong lead, and Guilford calling a timeout there.
And Zeus is going to call the timeout here. And one thing I'm not sure either of us noticed is on this Grizzlies roster, there is no seniors. This is an underclassmen team of freshmen and sophomores. So they're still kind of learning. They're figuring things out, right? They went 7-14 this year, which is pretty okay, right? It's not great. It's not bad. But they qualified for the state playoffs. They're still a very young team, but they have talent for years to come.
Yeah, 7-14, not the greatest year. I mean, maybe for most teams that's a below average standard. But again, you mentioned underclassmen, and as the years will roll on, as they turn into both juniors and seniors, I think Guilford will definitely be able to grow.
Yeah, Rams up 47-31 here. Beginning 6:30 remaining in this fourth quarter. As you see the Rams break the huddle, you're going to have Ogdebeni, Patterson, both Patterson's sisters, Muir and Kiviko, out on the floor for the Rams. But I want to see Tia Kiviko kind of get involved into that offense, right? Whether it's driving down low or start hitting some shots like she's done all season, as Ogdebeni gets called for the foul. And the foul's reset, so each team's at 1 foul. But that's going to be a shooting foul, going to send Cookta to the line.
Yeah, I agree with you there, John. Tia Kiviko needs to get more involved for New Canaan. This game, it looks like we'll be fine trying to close this one out, but in future playoff games, I want her to shoot a lot more threes because that's kind of her sweet spot. She's been able to do a lot during the regular season. That has to transition into the playoffs.
Cookta misses the first one there. She'll get a second shot at the free throw line, trying to make it a 15-point game. And she does just that. Finds the bottom of the net for a swish. Muir over to Patterson, but again, that passing ability from Muir, the ability to just kind of get where she wants on the court. Over to Patterson. Throws the risky pass to Kiviko. And Muir's going to get called. That's her 5th foul on the night. You saw her kind of say, like, oh, shoot, that's my 5th foul, right? One more and you're out.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to take out Muir. We're going to put in Livesay as we get a replay here of the bad turnover. And again, that's not even Muir's fault, right? You're running back to get back on defense and you accidentally bump into the ball handler, and then that's your 5th foul on the night.
Yeah, it's a tough foul. It's not one that you want to pick up, but unfortunately, that's just kind of how it's going to roll for New Canaan, and it's unfortunate, but that's what's going to happen.
Ball over to the corner to Reynolds, who's going to fire. That one goes off a little bit.
Almost a steal there from Livesay over to Tia Kiviko. It's over Patterson. I thought about that three-pointer. Now Kiviko with it up top.
Kiviko up top over to Ogdebeni, who's having a night tonight. Approaching that 30-point margin. Ball up to Patterson, over to Kiviko. Shot clock winding down, puts it up, and that one goes off, but shot clock was dwindling there, had to shoot. Ball rebounded by Reynolds. Reynolds working the ball up the court. She thought about firing over to Meza, and she's going to shoot. That one just off, but rebound by Votto over to Meza. Another shot, and nothing but net. Makes it a 12-point game, but as we've seen this game progress, right, the Grizzlies have started making threes, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to keep on shooting and hope that they go in.
Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, try again. As there's Tia Kiviko trying, getting some more points on the board for her, but, you know, matter for Guilford, if you miss a three, don't be afraid to go right back up and shoot another one.
Yeah, and Kiviko, right, you mentioned that guard play by the Rams in their postseason run in the FCAC tournament. You need to keep seeing Kiviko get her touches, get involved. There's a careless turnover by Reynolds, taken by Patterson. Kiviko over to Patterson, over to the junior, Lauren.
Reynolds was applying some pressure inside half court.
Over to Patterson, inside to Ogdebeni, who's gonna shoot. That one goes just off. Rebounded by Cece Patterson, though, and she gets fouled. So she's gonna have the ball at the strike for 2 free throws. The Rams up by 14 right now.
Yeah, Cece Patterson again getting fouled, which is something that she does almost every game, at least multiple times. She's so good at it, and then just trying to convert free throws as best as possible will be key.
Shot by Patterson, that one falls. Makes it 52-35, and there's some good free throw shooting. But we mentioned when you go and look at their schedule ahead, right, they'll play the 6th seed. Although they aren't an FCAC team, you always got to watch out for those top 10 teams. And they're on the cusp. They're at 11 right now in terms of seeding. Rebound by Patterson, though. This time her sister on the rebound on the free throw by Cece, and she puts it up and in.
Yeah, again, just feasting on the offensive glass. If you're not going to make a shot, everyone needs to attack the boards and get rebounds.
Reynolds with the shot. That one doesn't fall. Almost a backcourt violation saved by the Grizzlies, though. Ball over to Votto. Votto to Kramer. Over to Reynolds, takes the mid-range floater. What a shot there by Reynolds, and she gets fouled. That's going to be an and one. A highlight reel play there for Reynolds.
Yeah, Guilford not giving up, 3:44 to go, trying to make it a 14-point game, but you got to respect what they've been able to do in this game. I think really kind of silencing some of those doubters that thought this would be a blowout.
Reynolds at the strike. She'll get one because she made the shot, and she misses. Almost got the offensive rebound, though, but here's Kiviko. Going to kind of work her way across the court, settle things down over to Patterson. You mentioned Mueller has 5 fouls, so she's not out there. But ball goes to Ogdebeni, feeds it inside to Patterson. This time it's Callie Patterson that gets fouled, and she'll have 2 shots at the line.
Two shots. Yeah, sorry, there, John, but 2 shots again for Callie Patterson. And, I mean, the aggressiveness for New Canaan has really been kind of on par with what we expect from them this season.
And here is Patterson at the strike. She hits the first one. She'll have a second one. That makes it a 53-37 game, though, a 16-point lead for the Rams. 3:28 remaining in this game.
Yeah, 3:28 to go. Guilford, again, not giving up. Not yet, but you got to imagine that New Canaan's feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
And Patterson goes 2 for 2 at the line, which is rare for the Rams, but she does just that. And it's going to be a timeout by Zeus. And if you're Coach Zeus, what are you doing right now? Obviously, you're down by 17. It's 54-37 with 3:25 remaining. So what do you do?
Yeah, you can't give up now. At this stage in the game, it's a 17-point game. You just got to try and shoot as many perimeter shots as you can. I want to see a lot of 3-pointers because, frankly, this inside shot with the amount of time left, I mean, you can get all the layups you want, but New Canaan will just try and milk the clock, which they're very good at doing, so I want to see a lot of 3-pointers. Yeah,
and you have to shoot those 3-pointers to get back into this game, right? Eventually, you're going to be down by too much that you're not going to be able to get back into this game. But you just need to keep on shooting the 3-pointers, even if they don't go in right away. And on the other side, if you're the Rams, what are you looking to do to kind of close out this game and come out victorious and feel good about your next game?
Yeah, play good defense. I think that's the #1 thing. You don't need to be shooting as much now on offense. Get fouled, I think, is the motto that Coach Palmer's telling all the girls right now. Just play good defense. Don't foul. You don't want people and players to foul out. So keeping your hands up and maybe getting steals. You can get quick kind of transition layups, but as best as they can, just don't try and foul.
Hey, you mentioned not fouling. It's going to be Rams up by 17, inbound to Welch. Welch is going to just shoot right away. That one goes off the bank, but bad rebounding by the Rams. Ball over to Reynolds, thought about shooting, goes inside, puts up the floater. Rebound by Callie Patterson.
Strong rebound by Callie Patterson. That one got over to her sister, Cece. So just foul.
And that'll be a foul. That'll be Guilford's 4th foul on the night. So any foul after this will result in 2 free throws. But there's your foul to give. You don't have one to give, whereas the Rams do have a foul to give.
Yeah, we'll see New Canaan as kind of this pressure now from Guilford applying this press. So you got to try and break it as best you can.
Ball goes to Ogdebeni. Hands it off to Kiviko, over to Patterson, puts it up and in, and that's a tic-tac-toe play. That's about the best play you could have drawn up.
Yeah, a little eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That shot was not the greatest under the basket there. Kiviko with it.
Kiviko with the rebound. You mentioned that full court press from the Grizzlies. Patterson breaks the press. Gonna slow things down over to her sister. Patterson gonna drive, take the mid-range shot. That one goes off, a rebound by Ogdebeni, and at this point, she's just going to keep on adding points to her total, and the Rams are almost at 60 points, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, New Canaan almost at 60. Ogdebeni's almost at 30, so we'll get maybe trying to get the official mark if we can, but 60 points or almost 60 points for New Canaan will be a spectacle that we don't often see.
Shot by Reynolds. That one's off. Rebound by Kiviko, who's going to push it up to Ogdebeni, and here's 2 more.
Yeah, it's like stealing candy from a baby. Claire Ogdebeni with the easy layup.
Easy layup by Ogdebeni. And what a night she's been having so far. And that's going to be a timeout by Zeus. And now I think at this point, you kind of just got to hope for the best, right? New Canaan up by 23, up 60-37. And the Grizzlies do not have a foul to give.
Yeah, John, what you're saying is absolutely correct right now, and I think especially for Guilford, there's 2 minutes and 4 seconds left to go. Really not too much that you can do. Down by 23. I mean, if we see a miracle, I'm not ruling out. 2016 March Madness, we saw Northern Iowa versus Texas A&M, and Texas A&M was down about 12 with a minute left, and they come back and win that game in overtime. So I'm not ruling anything out of the picture, but you got to imagine New Canaan can be strong and close this one out.
And New Canaan's got to keep playing strong, and you wonder if they're just going to keep on feeding it to Ogdebeni, as that one, the shot by Kramer, rebounded, and the full court press right here, stolen by Reynolds, puts up the layup but can't get it to fall. And they're going to call a foul. This one, I believe that'll be on Votto, and that's going to put the Rams at the line for 2.
Yeah, we'll see it. Bill Brown talking to our head ref over there.
And it will be 2 shots at the strike, this time for Callie Patterson.
CC Patterson.
CC Patterson, my apologies. CC Patterson at the strike. 1:50 remaining. Patterson at the line for 2. She's going to take the first one and unfortunately miss, but she'll have a second. Rams up 60-37, but moving into the later rounds in the playoffs, if they make it there, right, Ryan, you're going to have to clean up that free throw shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. Claire Ogdebeni has been able to make a lot of her free throws earlier in the season, missing a lot more, but I think as the season's gone on, that's something that she's worked on. But I think as a team, when you're moving on in these state playoffs, you have to make your free throws. It's the freest points you can get in the game, maybe besides a open righty layup, but that pass split the seam right there.
Bad turnover, that one by the Grizzlies, so the Rams are going to gain possession back.
But yeah, free throws are absolutely huge. You got to be able to make your free throws at almost any level. So we'll see. Canaan making a sub.
And Ogdebeni's going to come out. She's going to get a standing ovation from all of her teammates and then a clapping ovation from all the fans. That should just about do it. You don't want to risk injuries right late game in kind of garbage time, but here's Kiviko just going to kind of hold out the clock over to Patterson. Down low to Funk, who's going to put it up.
I mean, the bench just like erupted right now, trying to get Funk some points.
Shot by Patterson. That one rebounded by the Grizzlies. And that's going to be a jump ball. It looked like Kramer had possession, but then a rim player got her hands in there, and now it's going to be a jump ball. New Canaan's going to get possession on the jump ball.
Yeah, let's see what this one be designed to do. Maybe Kiviko could, I was going to say maybe she can let it fly from 3, but that's not going to happen.
Marshall takes the shot. That one's off. Reynolds is going to take it. And at this point, you kind of just want to shoot the ball, unless you want to just let the time wind down. As Reynolds with the shot, that one short. That's going to be an air ball.
Left that one a little bit short. And now we have 51.8 seconds left to go. And I don't think the odds of a 23-0 run will happen, but you never know. 48.6 seconds, heading to the free throw line. 2 free throws, 3, turnover 3, turnover 3. I'm just saying, don't rule it out.
Reynolds gets the rebound there. She gets her own shot, and then she gets fouled. So she'll be at the strike 4-2. Now New Canaan's at that 4 foul mark, so the next foul from either team will put the other team at the strike for 2. As she hits the first one. And one thing that's Guilford's kind of done better in the second half, right, is that free throw shooting. They started making their shots from the line. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as New Canaan's up by 22, and they're just probably going to run out the clock.
Yeah, we'll see if Guilford's going to foul at all or kind of let this one go. Okay, so we're going to foul.
That's going to be a foul. This one on Welch, and that'll put Sarah Marshall at the strike, the junior.
Let's see if Marshall can convert from the line.
Takes a couple dribbles, then takes the first shot, and she hits, so she's going to have one more shot at the strike, but she's already 1 for 1. Hopefully she makes the second.
100% or 50%? That's the big question in this gym from the free throw line, and it is 100% from the strike.
Marshall goes 2 for 2 at the line, picking up her first 2 points on the night.
Yeah, converting free throws from the stripe is absolutely huge for New Canaan, but now 34 seconds. There's a three-pointer made by Guilford.
That was cooked up from the corner with the 3. She makes it. And I find it interesting, like Guilford shot pretty well from beyond the arc, right? They just turned the ball over a little bit too much, and that time the amount of possessions that New Canaan had was much more than that of the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies had a chance. They just couldn't capitalize, and the Rams will come out victorious. This one, 62-41, your final score as the clock's about to hit 0. And it does. The Rams come out victorious, 62-41 here on NCTV. And Ryan, what can you take away this game? We'll start with the Rams.
Yeah, New Canaan scoring 62 points. I mean, that's an oddity right there from the Rams, and I think Claire Ongbeni has to be a huge part of that, but also Fiona Mueller. She did have 5 fouls, but when she's on the floor, like the floor general, right? Like a Chris Paul, having a point guard that can shoot the ball but pass the ball very efficiently, and I think has the best handles on the whole New Canaan team. But it absolutely has to be the play of Claire Ongbeni in the paint, just feasting on layups.
Yeah, and then on the other side, if you're at Guilford, what do you kind of take away from this game? You mentioned there's no seniors on this team, so you'll come back next year with virtually the same roster, maybe adding a couple bench pieces, right? Even a starter if someone emerges, but you have talent ready for next year. What do you take away from this game?
Yeah, I mean, Guilford, they can't be too disappointed, I should say, a 21-point loss. But they're 7-14, right? So not the best record, but playing this tough New Canaan team that made the FCAC final, obviously very tough for them, but they should keep their head up high, and I think these next 2 years they could be a threat in Connecticut.
And you mentioned now Guilford is eliminated. New Canaan will move on to face Mesa. That game will be away, and I believe this is their final game in the home gym, unless a crazy upset happens, but they'll go on the road to play number 6 Mesa in the next couple of days. I believe it might be a Thursday night game where they go up to Mesa, and before we go, we'd like to thank our crew. We'd like to thank Maddie Elmerson on camera, Henry Lapin on camera, Anav Sahai as a producer, as well as Robbie Williams on replay, all those great replays that you saw tonight. And then we'd like to check it out. Myself, John Frieders, join alongside Ryan Bell. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday night action for some girls basketball. New Canaan coming out victorious, 62-41, your final score. Thank you for joining us, and we'd like to send it over to sponsors before we go.
This game is sponsored by our NC Rams All Sports Booster Club Platinum and Gold sponsors. We would like to thank our Platinum sponsor, Anderson Kenny Architecture, a full-service practice that encompasses a range of commission, residential, and commercial projects. Each project is a thoughtful collaboration tailored for clients and their needs. The outcome is highly personal, constructed with intention and integrity. We would like to thank our Platinum sponsor, Dr. William Fessler of Fessler Family Dentistry, the dental office for your entire family's dental needs. At William Fessler Family Dentistry, smile, you're in good hands. Platinum sponsor Frangio Engineering. Planning on putting a pool or addition onto your house? Are you having drainage issues on your property? Frangio Engineering can help you find a solution. Platinum sponsors and NCHS alumni Leo and Steve Carl of Carl Chevrolet have been proud supporters of local athletic programs for generations. Their dealership has been serving Fairfield County since 1927. Their team is ready to assist you with all of your automotive needs. Platinum sponsor Manfredi Jewels. Manfredi Jewels, your local official Rolex jeweler, is excited to continue carrying the finest jewelry and watch brands, and welcome the New Canaan community to their newly renovated store this fall. Go Rams. Platinum sponsor Renaissance Partners, a family-owned and New Canaan-based residential building and remodeling company, serving all of Fairfield County. Platinum sponsor Walter Stewart's. Walter Stewart's Market has supported NC Rams athletics and your entire New Canaan community for years. Walter Stewart's is your fresh local market. We'd also like to thank our gold sponsor Performance Optimal Health, who proudly supports all New Canaan Rams athletes in their 2023-2024 seasons. Their team helps clients achieve their health goals through exercise, recovery, nutrition, and stress management. They offer their congratulations to all teams competing this season. Again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors. The NC Rams All Sports Booster Club supports all New Canaan High School Athletics. Go Rams.
Support the NCHS Scholarship Foundation. Purchase a golf ball. Someone will win a brand new 2024 Chevy Colorado. The NC Color Drop will take place March 24th at Waveney. Check out the truck today, located at the entrance of Denny Stadium. Already have a truck? There are 11 other great prizes too, including a $2,000 gift card to Walter Stewart's Market. All proceeds will go directly to NCHS graduates who rely on financial aid to help pay their college tuition expenses.
If you want to stay updated on all our Rams sports, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NCTV78. And in order to watch our bi-weekly broadcasts, live streams of the NCHS sports, and our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel also at NCTV78. Thank you, and let's go Rams!